I'm going to show you how to build your landing page on LeadPages with a proven structured framework that I've used to have a 95.5% conversion rate. It's going to take you through a step-by-step from the hook and heading all the way to the offer. So you know what to put, how to edit it, what to not do and what to not mess up that's affecting your conversion, how to make a page you actually love and doesn't just convert, but something you're proud of. And that's you. Here's the proof about the conversion thing to know that I wasn't lying. 43 out of 45 inquiries from a few years ago when I wasn't even good or as good as landing pages, 95.5% conversion. You can pause the screen, take a look for yourself. Here's the order we're going to cover. We're going to go through a compelling hook, how to make one, proof, what's holding them back. This is all in order of how you want to display it on your page. More proof, urgency and scarcity, like why they should act now. We can use a few different features for that. More proof, the offer, how does it work? What do they get? How much is it? And a risk reversal that is really important for building trust and buy-in, even if the person is skeptical. How do they get started? More proof. And then you talk about you, not first. Big mistake people make. I'm going to show you how to go from a blank canvas in LeadPages. This is their new feature that no one's explained how people can use and get the most out of. I built a few and we're going to go from this, a blank page, to this, a fully made landing page that is beautiful, effective, even if you have a high ticket offer, which this is my high ticket offer, program exclusive, premium, or it is a low to mid tier offer that is a product that you want people to buy straight off the bat, or it's a subscription service, like a coaching service that you want to encourage people to buy, that you want to take people on a journey of. This was actually built on a WordPress. Now I use LeadPages. You can see the differences. I've built them all and we've been able to do a really good job at positioning them, selling them, and helping hundreds and hundreds, I think like nearly 1,000 clients at this point. So that's such a privilege and honor to do. And these pages have become such pivotal pieces to being able to do that. So I'm just going to show you how I've done it and you can steal it. I'm going to build it from scratch. Let's go. One, we're going to always make sure we check things on mobile. So always make sure you're checking them on mobile. But we're going to start with a blank canvas. I don't recommend you use templates. And we can follow this structure right here. Link is below if you want it. Hero section. So let's first go to layers. This is where all of our different structure, like pieces of the skeleton, are going to be, where we can easily move things around. What I would like you to do is just start through the sections and just have a look at what you like. Get an idea of the image that you're wanting to portray. And I recommend you look at other pages first to get some inspiration of how you would like to format things. James Smith has done a really good job, really effective. He's made a multi-million-dollar business. Look at the guys who are doing like really, really big things. They've put a lot of money into it, but there's also effectiveness in simplicity. So we want a title and hook. All this has to be above the fold, the first thing they see before they scroll. That's what that means. A subtitle, a video, and a CTA. We need to see this first on mobile and a computer. So whatever template you pick, it must do that. It must serve that problem and solution. What I like to do is start with, you're not going to find the perfect element. What I like to do is just start with something that is along the lines of what I would like, and then I modify it. So let's come here. I'm going to remove this. I want you guys to center align. You see that bottom right? I'm going to just want to center align that. Now, if you feel a bit stuck of like, oh, how do I move things around? Like, oh, this isn't working. Just delete the element. We're just going to make a new one. We're just going to go text. And we're just going to drop it right there. Now we've fixed that. We're going to center align this. Keep everything center aligned in the top part of your page before the fold. Okay, let me just pause for a second. You guys are going to think about colors. You're going to think about fonts. I want you to ignore all of that right now. I want you to ignore the graphic design elements right now. You need to instead just focus on sequence and copy. The copy is the words, the sequence, the CTAs. Just focus on the structure. We worry about the graphic design, the colors, and the aesthetic later, because that really gets in the way of doing the thing. And you're always you can always change that very easily later. And you're gonna change your mind lots of times, but you don't wanna take forever to ship something because you're thinking about the perfect design and like you're in 11 labs and AI fixing up crazy images. We don't worry about that right now. That's part of me doing this video for you, is to help you get out of your own way like that. For simplicity though, bottom right corner here, you click the background. The background, you'll have a background image you can add. So if we want to add this is on my Bloods page, you can add videos. Don't start here though with some animated video unless it's really easy for you. I put this in 11 labs. I made a special. This is not real AI video. I had to edit it in Premiere, put it on I made sure it was long enough so it looped. Like there's a level of detail here to do this, and leave this until last. This is a squeeze page. I love it. I wanted to make it really engaging. I know how to do it relatively quickly. Don't start here. Start simply with images, photos, and then get to videos. Now you can see I've put in a subheading to the heading. What's the sizing? It matters. The heading should usually be double subheading. This is graphic design 101. It usually should be H1. This is going to be H2 or H3. In other words, if this was size 20 in number of sizing of the typography, the subheading is 10. The order sequence allows the eyes to track to what's most important first. This is actually all psychology. The psychology and neurobiology of perception, and that you want to weight things to draw attention to the most important thing first, then the second, then the third, because you're telling a story, taking people on a highly curated journey to go from warm to hot. This landing page is a microwave, and to make the microwave really effective at heating up, you need to make sure your microwave works properly. You need to know how a microwave works, aka psychology and biology. So I've added a bold to that because it was not distinguished enough from the subheading. So you can see the bold there. Next, we need to add a video. Elements, drag, drop, video. I'll go grab a YouTube video. I recommend go to the share link. I recommend clicking embed, copying that, clicking embed, pasting. Now, if you see the numbers there, 560 by 318, this, I click enter. This, oops, I don't click enter. Just click out. Hold on. Paste, click inside the column here, and then it'll be, but it won't display properly. I click preview in the top right corner. That's going to show you what it looks like to the world. It's not done properly. It looks weird. Yes, it looks weird. Why? Because of the iframe width and height. You just copy that into GPT, tell it your problem, make a screenshot. I'd like to display this 1920 by 1080. Give me the embed code to do this. That's it. Alternatively, you can use what I use. I host my videos. You can see they look really nice like this. Creates intrigue, curiosity for people to actually watch the video. And I can track really great analytics that I can't do with YouTube, which give me insight to know what to change. This is using Vitalytics. If you got 50 to 100 USD a month to spend, do it. If not, it's not needed. This is an extra bonus. This is what some of the top marketing guys are doing because we know it works. Well, Mosey uses the same thing on his site. They have hundreds of millions of dollars they put into marketing. Totality, they probably pick this stuff really carefully. Success leaves clues. Start though with YouTube. You can fix up those things like in the settings and using GPT to edit the code for you. So we have the title, the hook, the CTA, which by the way, can jump to a section on the page. It's really good like that. Doesn't need to go out. Can jump to a section on the page, which you can select and name. It will look something like this. I have my button. You won't be able to make buttons like this because I used coding to do this. Advanced strategy, don't worry about it for now. Click, jumps to page. Now, we have our first piece of the skeleton. But before you keep going, you need to come over here into layers. And you can see I've these different kind of sections, and you open it up and you can see every single element. If you want to add, you can add it. It's like, what's that weird thing happening on my site? I didn't put that there. You can edit all of that in here, hide them, make them invisible, delete them, lock them so you can't be edited. The main thing I want you to do here is just name it based off the skeleton piece that we're working on. So each piece of the skeleton here of your page, I want you to separate into a different, what's called container. Simply name the first section. I'm going to delete this and start from scratch for you. Then how do we add another container, another section? Well, I go here and I say add blank section, and we're good. And there's some extra fluff here. I'm just going to delete that. So it's right up against each other. And this next section, we're just going to name before we get into it. This is going to be, what's the next one? Where I'm going to put the testimonials. This makes it a lot easier to move things around because I can drag, drop, and move things around. Instead of moving every element, I can move them in categories, which makes things really easy. Now to the proof section. Very structured and sequenced, easy to use like this. LeadPages already has testimonials, a feature for testimonials. Now, you don't have to love the look of some of these. Click one that kind of is like what you like. I drag it in, saves me some time. I don't want to. I'm going to delete that. Oh, deleted the whole thing. Remember, you can press Command or Control Z to get rid of, to go back, or top left corner, forward and back. I don't like the stars. They're not believable at all. I'm going to center align this. I'm not going to bother doing this. I might even quote part of the quote below. You can see I have done that here. Creates intrigue to watch the video. I had zero skill set before. Now I feel much more proficient. All right. Some compelling quote is usually more impactful than client testimonials, which feels very unrelatable and not real and transactional. Center align this. I recommend you do a short video of one of the most powerful testimonials or stories from one of your clients and customers. If you don't have that, pick one of the most emotive sentences that your client has ever said about you, about how you've helped them. Quote it with their face there, ideally their full name, so it's believable and doesn't feel made up. You can see there's distinguishment between the background and the foreground because it's gray, and that's good because it pops out and it brings your eyes to it to read it that it's important. I just center align this with all the settings in the right, and now we're nice and stacked. Now, what's the next piece? What's holding them back? This is an additional piece. It's not 100% needed, but it is relatively important and helpful to have, but you don't need it. This helps you communicate to your prospects about what are they struggling with, how you can truly you help identify the major pains and problems that your market is going through, that you understand them, and that you're identifying the ones that they didn't even know existed, which highlights a gap between where they are and where they need to be, and that you have the solution to solve that. For something like this is what we're trying to display, something like this. I go over to features, and it's going to give me something along the lines of what I'd like. I can display this in these nice key images with titles and subheadings. I don't need so many, so I can delete that whole row and roll with this. I'm not going to fill it in, but you get the point. But what if you want something that's less static, more engaging, has even, see how these animate as I pop up, that take people through a journey? Your path, here's how it works. To do that, you need to use a widget called Common Ninja. LeadPages doesn't have everything. Common Ninja is like the icing on the cake, which I'll have linked below for you guys. Here's what it can give you. It's a great visual depiction of how you can help people without getting too wordy. Greater engagement. This is what I've done here. Put the cursor over it, kind of gets bigger, and I have all these little cards that can also animate. These are gifts that I've uploaded into an image. You need to make a short snippet of a video into a GIF in order to do this. And I've used more of these actually on this page. See how this counts up? That is a widget. This here, all of our different guest speakers inside of Trinity and Zion. And you might display here's how it works and obstacles in your client's way, prospect's way, kind of like this. One way to do it. This is a big intensive program, so there's quite a bit more words and content here than usual. You can do really cool things like this. And the options are kind of endless. What I like to do is I think about a vision of how I want something to be displayed, or I see something on another site, go in GPT and say, I ask GPT, hey, I'm using Common Ninja. Which widgets would you recommend? Because there's a ton. It's 226. I'm not going to scroll through on 226. I'm just going to ask GPT what it thinks based off the problem I have, and then look at them, edit them, and embed them. And they have really helped me make a page that feels great and works really well and tells a better story. I'd come over here. I want to add a little bit more proof. I'm just going to duplicate that, move it down to the bottom here, and there it is. Really easy. I could just duplicate templates and modify them as I go throughout the page. We're going to get to the core now, which is pricing, like the offer, which is behind my head here. Open that up. I'm going to display a pricing table. What I don't recommend is that you take your pricing table from Stripe or your payment provider and just take people out and then just take them to a whole nother big slab of text. Tell the story here and then get them to purchase, start the free trial, and do the thing that you want them to do, like the booking, the call, as seamlessly and as frictionless as possible. Usually you have the most control if you do a pricing table. Actually, this one is catching my eye because the middle one is bigger. Now, typically I like to price anchor the most expensive first because it takes you from highest to lowest, and the gap between the highest and the low and the middle one feels like you're getting a discount, like psychologically. People justify it different ways, but I usually like to price anchor high first, where the price anchor is at the end. And so notice how we start with the cheapest. So now $849 feels like $300, $350 more expensive than this, but you want people to go here. So my argument is, and I've done this many times, this is partly how I've run a few businesses, is I would argue this is going to get messy. Why don't we start with the price anchor first, which drives to the middle option, which is the one we want to sell. So then this, oh my God, $1,700? Whew, at least there's an option that's cheaper. Oh, but then here's the cheapest option. I don't know if I want to be associated with buying something cheap. Drives them back up the middle. Versus starting with the cheapest, which inclines the behavior towards that. So if you have 3 offers, this is what I'd get you to consider. And this is another example of what yours could look like by the end, just to give you some inspiration for colors, for typography, for spacing, for how to break it up. And this is how it could look. Notice how it pops out. It's very easy to read, very friendly on the eyes. You make sure that your text contrasts against the background and the foreground well. You want to create contrasting colors. If you don't even know how to do that, just Google color palette matcher. It's color palette swatches, like they can help you with branding your colors. Stuff like this. I'm going to put some more proof at the end because when people are considering price, we want to also remind them of how good the service is and how important it is, rather how it can help them achieve the goal that they want and solve the problem they have. We need to constantly remind our prospects of how good the service is or the product is, because we can't expect them to know what we know and have the embodiment and the belief that we do because they're not you and they don't have the lived experience of working with all the people you've worked with and the conviction and the experience and the skill. They don't know. You can't expect them to know. You have to show them, convince and influence and not assume. Then the about goes right at the end. And you might have a photo of you here with you explaining a little bit about your story, your background, how the things you've overcome, but it goes last. People who have gone this far usually know a little bit about you, but if you want to get them deeper into you and your story, that's important. That's for your content, but you can do it right at the end. What I'm missing here is a button to bring them back up the page, actually, to critique myself. And there's one thing missing that we don't have here. It's really important. It's buttons. We only have one button at the top, but a person's going to make a different decision at every point in the page. So you want to make sure you have buttons kind of littered throughout every section because we don't know at what point that they're going to make a decision to book a call, a decision to see how this is a bit like annoying. Like I'm trying to drag it to the bottom, but it's not moving. It's a bit annoying to move. So I'm just going to go to my layers and I'm going to try and find this button, but for brevity's sake. And so I'm going to have a button at the bottom if they get all the way to the bottom to bring them back up. I'm going to jump back to the pricing table or the booking link or whatever you have here for them to make the decision. We have 2 pricing tables somehow now. Oops. A button here to drop them down, a button here, and a button at the top. Most of the buttons should funnel towards the same thing, but you may also prefer for the first button to send people to the most compelling thing, which is going to be your most successful story proof towards you. Eventually though, you want to drive people to making a decision, and that's to book a call or to buy the thing from you immediately. Bonus points, FAQs, you can add in right at the bottom, just before talking about you or just after it. These are most commonly asked questions that you're getting a lot that help break down objections. Ideally, you should cover a lot of this in your VSL, but if you haven't, add it in here. Ideally, I like drop downs, not to add too much text here, but drop downs where they click, they open, and they can read. We just built this from scratch in 30 minutes, and it doesn't look like this with branded colors, but it looks minimalist, it looks clean, it looks professional. The copy's not there, but it's somewhat engaging and it's pretty decent for under an hour done. You're going to be tempted to go through all the little details to make it perfect, to make it great, to go through every setting and get little tiny details right. And that is simply going to serve to slow you down from doing the thing that you need to do, which is get a chance to help impact people and change their lives and sell them the thing you want to sell. We build something imperfect, messy, and then we ship it. As we go, we edit it. As we go, we refine it. We don't get it perfect first, then we ship. We get a messy first draft that's good enough. We move quickly and we refine as we go. You don't have to have your VSL done before you ship and publish it. People just need a place where they can find out about who you are, what you do, why they should believe you, and how you can help them. I'm going to show you one more behind the scenes thing that's actually really important, but this is not meant to be some like overarching, here's how to figure out every detail of LeadPages. This is to give you a quick skeleton efficiently, the basics. You want to change typography, you don't have to do it for each one. You can do it all at once. All at once, primary, secondary, headings, body, text styles, color styles, open them up, and you can have a really tight fidelity and control. I just recommend, don't worry about like the sizing of all of these right now. Just change the typography and the font if you really want, but just roll with the default. It's fine. It's good enough. It's quite clean, but you do have different options, and these are just different stylings that they've already pre-made for you that you can edit. Go into the settings though. You need to change the domain, and you need to, this won't be done here. The domain stuff is after. Go to your account, click on domains. You're going to need to claim your free domain, follow the prompts. Don't buy the email thing service it asks you for. If you already have a domain, just click connect domain and just like port it over. You go to your landing page, you click publishing options, you click manage your domains, kind of going the long way here, and make sure the site is connected to the correct site. You just follow the prompts, connect it to the new page you've done. Make sure it's under homepage. Select the page. You should be ready to go. If you don't understand, they got chat support. You can ask them questions. They'll help you out. The SEO, this is help you to be found in Google. I just recommend putting your title in the SEO, search engine optimization, to be found in Google. The description is your subheading. The keywords, just major things like health coach in X city, online coach in X city, like your bunch of titles, bunch of keywords. This will help you get found in Google and rank higher, particularly if you're like a brick and mortar. This is important. If you don't want the page to be found on Google, you can click that. Social, this is the image that comes up when you share a link. The title, what do you want to be said? Like when you're sharing links, the description, fix that up. And your tracking codes, for any of you doing ads, it goes right here in the head section tracking code. You can put your metapixel stuff right there. This is how to create a good enough landing page from a system and structure that has worked to create very high conversions, 90, 95% for years and years, that I've used for many businesses, many service-based businesses. There's power in simplicity. You just need to now get the copy right and all the words right, and make sure that speaks to your avatar and the people that you want to impact, which is a different problem to solve. But on this channel, I have that full video of how to do that. So somewhere around here on the channel, you can search it and find it. If you have any questions, let me know. More free things in the description for you.